Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Pooja Bansal and this is our second session on instruments in OBS and Gynae. Today we will discuss the remaining instruments. So without further wasting our time, let's start a topic of discussion. First instrument is Sims anterior vaginal wall retractor. As you can see, it consists of one anterior loop and another posterior loop. These are of ring shaped with serrations which fits into the rugosity of vagina. These loops make an angle of 15 degree with the shaft, and as I told you earlier, it is used with a Sims speculum to retract the anterior vaginal wall. So angulation with the shaft make it easier to go under the pubic symphysis to retract the anterior vaginal wall. Next, we will discuss two types of curette. One is Novak's endometrial biopsy curette. It is curved at the end, contains a round tip and a opening with multiple tooth-like serrations, and at the end stylet is present, which is used to remove the endometrial tissue and for cleaning of the instrument. As the name is suggesting, it is used for endometrial biopsy. So, what are the indication of endometrial biopsy? Number one is an abnormal uterine bleeding patient with more than 45 years of age. Number two is female of any age but with a history of estrogen exposure. For example, patient of PCOS or patient on hormonal replacement therapy. Number three indication is failed medical management of AUB. Number four is if there is any family history of Lynch syndrome, because there is more risk of endometrial cancer. Number four is if on ultrasonography endometrial thickness in premenopausal is more than or equal to 12 mm, in postmenopausal it is more than or equal to 4 mm. So next favorite question is, in endometrial hyperplasia, endometrial cancer or PMB or AUB, investigation of choice will be, the answer will be endometrial aspiration. But if they asked gold standard investigation, then the answer will be stereoscopic guided biopsy. Second curette is our uterine curette. It can be a double-ended or a single-ended uterine curette. In double-ended, one end is sharp end with a smaller loop and ring shape. Another one is a blunt end with a larger loop. And these two loops are connected by a handle with serrations. And these serrations are for the firm grip between the thumb and the index fingers. Then what are the uses of the curette? Blunt curette is used in the OBS in the pregnant uterus for number one, dilatation and curettage for any types of abortion. Number two is for secondary PPH, which occurs due to retained products of conception. But there is one exception where the sharp curette is used in obstetrics, and it is molar pregnancy. So after molar pregnancy, after evacuation, sharp curettage is done. Then what is the use of sharp curettage? It is used mainly for the gynecological purpose for endometrial biopsy. For example, in endometrial TB, endometrial cancer, infertility patient, abnormal uterine bleeding or postmenopausal bleeding patients. Then what is the timing of endometrial biopsy? It is done in premenstrual or secretory phase, means 1 week before expected menses. Another question is, what is the difference between the Sims anterior vaginal wall retractor and double-ended uterine curette? Sims retractor handles are long and loops are wider and serrations are present on the loops, but in double-ended uterine curette it is smaller and loops are smaller and serrations are present on the handle instead of loops. There is another cannula called as Pippel's cannula. It is used for the office endometrial aspiration. So how do we identify the Pippel's cannula? Pippel's cannula, in comparison to Carman's cannula, contains a single opening and have markings on it and thin and translucent in nature. So what is Carman's cannula? As you can see, Carmen's cannula contains two triangular openings and it is made up of plastic. It is used in obstetrics for suction and evacuation, for induced abortion till 12 weeks, incomplete abortion or missed abortion or molar pregnancy. In gynecology, it is used for endometrial sampling. As you can see, there is a number mentioned on the cannula. It means the diameter of the cannula in millimeters. How do we choose the size of the cannula to be used? It is according to the period of gestation or 1 minus period of gestation. Most favorite question is, what are the signs of the empty uterus or completion of procedures? Number 1 is no more tissue will pass through the cannula and pink bubbles will come in the tubing. And number 3 is uterus will get smaller and will start gripping the cannula and we will feel grating sensation while doing suction and evacuation. And number 4 is bleeding will decrease. Another instrument is our MVA syringe. This MVA syringe consists of 2 pinch valves, 1 collar stop, and it is used to prevent it from pulling back when vacuum is created. And third is the plunger. And it is used with the Carmen's cannula. How to use the MVA syringe? First we have to press the pinch valves on both sides. Then we have to pull the plunger to create vacuum. It is also called as charging. Then we insert the Carmen's cannula at the tip of the MVA syringe. And then we introduce the tip inside the internal os. And after releasing the pinch valve, suction is done in and out manner with rotating 360 degree. As you can see in this picture, in and out with rotating 360 degree. Some questions are asked relating to MVA syringe. What is the volume of the MVA syringe? It is considered to be 60 ml. Pressure created in MVA syringe is around 600 to 660 mm of mercury and it is used till 12 weeks in abortions. Then what is the advantage of over suction machine? As you know, MVA syringe doesn't require any electricity, so it can be used in any remote or rural settings, and it provides mobile services also. Next step, if perforation with suction or curette occurs, we immediately stop the procedure and call our senior and check the vitals of the patient. If the vitals are stable, then laparoscopy is done, and if vitals are unstable, then a rapid method called laparotomy is done to evaluate the abdominal cavity. This is a menstrual regulation syringe. It contains a single valve and its capacity is 50 ml and it is used till 6 weeks of period of gestations. Now another most important instrument are retractors, as they are telling that retractors is used to retract the skin or tissue after giving the incisions or to hold the organs away from the operating field. Here we will discuss 4 most important retractors. Most commonly used is a Doyne's retractor. It is broad and curved in shape and used to retract the abdominal wall in abdominal surgeries. Another one is a Morris retractor. It is broad and flat but makes an angle of 90 degree with the handle and used to retract bladder in abdominal surgeries. Another one is a Landon's retractor, is L-shaped retractor which is narrow and flat, but it also makes a 90 degree angle as Morris retractor, and it is used to retract bladder but in vaginal surgeries. Fourth one is a Devers retractor. It is narrow and curved and of question mark shaped retractor, and it is used to retract the deep organs like intestine or omentum in abdominal surgeries like Verdheim cystectomy or exploratory laparotomy. So these were our 4 retractors. Now there is also a Balfour's self-retaining abdominal retractor. As it is self-retaining, it is used in longer duration surgeries such as cancer surgeries and where the number of assistants are less. Another one is a Zernes retractor. It consists two prongs at one end and one solid blade at another end, and it is used to retract skin and rectus sheath. Most important instrument is our needle holder. It consists of a blade, a handle and a catch. And on opening the needle holder, at tip a single eye is present, and it is the only instrument which contains crisscross serrations. So what is the blade to handle ratio? As you can see, it is 1:4. And how to hold the needle in the needle holder? It is held at the junction of anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3. Another one is Pinard fetoscope, also called as fetal stethoscope, which is of cone shaped and made up of aluminium. Earlier, when there was no stethoscope, it was used to hear the fetal heart sound. And as you know, fetal heart sound is heard near the anterior shoulder, except in the case of malpresentations. It is a triad, Pinard's triad. Number one is Pinard's fetal stethoscope. Second one is Pinard living ligature, also called middle layer of the uterus. Because after the delivery, middle layer of the uterus will constricts and lead to constrictions of the blood vessels in between the crisscross arrangement of the muscle fibers, which will lead to decrease in the blood loss. Another one is a Pinard maneuver. It is used in the Frank breech for popliteal fossa. This is a disposable umbilical cord clamp which is applied 3 to 4 cm away from the umbilicus. There are different type of scissors. Most important is our episiotomy scissor. It can be easily recognized as it is angulated or bent at the edge, and it consists of two blades. One is broad and blunt, which is placed in vagina to avoid the fetal injury, and thin and sharp blade is placed on vulva. But why is it angulated? So, to cut the perineum at 60 degree from the midline to avoid the anal injury. This is the picture showing giving episiotomy at the time of the crowning. Means when the scalp is visible at the perineum and doesn't recede back after uterine contraction is over. And right mediolateral episiotomy is given when the perineum is thin and stretched at the angle of 60 degree. This is our umbilical cord clamp or cutting scissors. It is of coin shape so that cord doesn't slip in between this scissor. To avoid cord clamp for more than 1 minute after the delivery. So what is the advantage of delayed cord clamping? It provides 80 ml of extra blood, or you can say 50 milligram of elemental iron to the fetus. So what are the indications when early cord clamping is done? There are only 3 indications. Number 1 is when newborn is asphyxiated or newborn is known case of heart disease. So to avoid the overload to the baby. Number 3 is excessive maternal bleeding in 3rd stage to protect the mother. But in Rh negative, HIV positive and preterm, benefits of delayed cord clamping are more than risk. So in Rh negative, HIV positive and preterm, delayed cord clamping is done. There are two another scissors, Mayo's and Metronome scissor. Mayo scissor is stout with short handle and a heavyweight scissor. Metronome scissor contains a long handle and with a pointed and curved end and of light weight. Uses of Mayo scissors are to cut the sutures or tough structure like sheath and aponeurosis. On the other hand, Metronome scissor used to cut the delicate structure like bladder or to open the peritoneum or to do a fine dissection. So these were our 4 types of scissors, and 2 types of instrument used in myomectomy are: number 1 is Doyen's myoma screw, as it consists of a screw which goes inside the fibroid and used to enucleate or take out the fibroid. Second one is a Boney's myomectomy clamp. It consists of 2 finger grips. First, and a transverse plate and 2 handles. First finger grip is used to a clamp at the level of isthmus with the round ligament and at the level of cornu of uterus. And so why there is second finger grip? It is used to release the clamp for every 15 minutes. So to avoid the pressure necrosis or release of histamine. So the question is asked why round ligament is included in the clamp. If round ligament gets stretched, it will lead to fundus in the upright position, and it also prevent the direct compression effect on isthmus. So if we don't have the Boney's myomectomy clamp, then what else can be used instead of myoma to decrease the blood loss? Number 1 is tourniquets tied around the cornu or around the isthmus. Second one is use of vasopressin injection. And third is prior to surgery we can use GnRH analogs for 3 months. And number 4 is hypotensive anesthesia. So what is the Boney's contribution to obs and gynae? Number 1 is Boney's myomectomy clamp. Number 2 is Boney's hood operation for posterior fundal fibroid. In this, transverse incision is given on the posterior fundal region, but serosa is sutured to the anterior surface of the uterus. So if the patient get pregnant further, we can assess the scar tenderness on placing our hand on the anterior surface or to avoid the extra adhesions. Third contribution is Boney's test in stress urinary incontinence. Another one is our HSG cannulas. Most common is our Leach-Wilkinson cannula. It is of funnel shaped with transverse serrations, and this funnel end, as you see, goes in the cervix. And from this end we use to insert the radio-opaque dye, and it is used in multiparous female for HSG. Another cannula is a Rubin's cannula. It is having a curved tip with a rubber stopper, and radio opaque dye is instilled from here. And it is used in nulliparous female for HSG, as it is thin at the tip. And it can also be used as a uterine manipulator. So what is a HSG? It is a screening test for tubal patency. As you can see, patent tubes are showing free spill. As this is cannula, we have inserted a radio opaque dye, and this is uterus, this is cornus, and this is fallopian tube, and this is free spill from both of the fallopian tubes. Means tubes are patent. HSG is done in the post-menstrual phase, that is day 5 to day 11. But there are some contraindication of HSG also. Number 1 is pregnancy. So we always advise patient to do UPT before HSG. Second one is PID, and third is genital TB. So what is the most common cause of cornual spasm or block? Most common one is physiological, because while doing HSG it will cause severe pain that can block both cornuas. So therefore analgesic and atropine are given half an hour before the HSG procedures. Then what is the most pathological cause is genital TB. Another important thing is pap smear. This is Ayer's spatula, and this is endocervical brush. At one end it is bifid for ectocervix sample, and another end it is used to take vaginal cells from the lateral fornix. And this is our endocervical brush. Ayer's spatula can be of plastic or wood, 20 cm long, used for pap smear. After introducing the Cusco speculum, the long limb of bifid limb is placed on external os for ectocervix sample, and endocervical brush for endocervix sample. We have to rotate it by 360 degree 2 to 3 times, and then we make the slide. First we have to avoid the air drying of the slide, and preservative nowadays used is consists of 95% ethyl alcohol only, and ether is not used because it is highly inflammable. But before pap smear we have to note certain things: no PV examination, and no use of lubricants, and no intercourse should be there before the pap smear. Another instrument is a tubal ring applicator for tubal ligation. These are two finger grips and these are two prongs. This is used with a tubal ring called as Philop ring, which is made up of silicon but also contain barium sulfate to make it radio opaque. Another one is a Foley's catheter. It consists of a bladder opening at the tip which goes inside the urethra, and a balloon which is inflated, and then it contains the two ports. One is for urinary drainage port and other one is to inflate the balloon. And this is the size mentioned in French scales and millimeter. In pediatrics, 6 to 10 number size catheter is used, and adult female 12 to 14 and adult male 16 to 18, and if patient is complaining of hematuria then 20 to 24 number French unit catheter is used. It is generally used to empty the bladder before, during or after surgery, to measure the urine output and residual urine, to relieve the urinary retention, and to take the sterile urine specimen, and is also used in incontinent bladder, comatose patient or renal disease patient to know the urine output. In obstetrics, it is used for cervical ripening and balloon tamponade in atonic postpartum hemorrhage, also called as condom catheter. It is made after suturing, tying the condom on the tip of the catheter and instilling the fluid from this side, and this will go in the uterus and it will press the open arteries or vessels and decrease the bleeding. Third is used for amnio infusion, and in gynecology it can act as a tourniquet in the myomectomy. And this is our last instrument, that is K90 catheter. It can be used for one-time bladder drainage, for example during the minor surgeries. So this was my lecture on the instrument in obs and gynae. Next time I'll discuss about the procedures in obs and gynae. Hope you like my video. Please do subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.